So, hello and a warm welcome to the Integration Basecamp. I'm thrilled to see that we've had so many positive opt-ins. Some of you will know me already. My name is Lizzie and I'm an account manager at Adestra. Before we start, just a couple of bits of housekeeping. You may well have checked your phones in the break just now, so please do make sure they're turned to silent, please. And we have allowed some time for questions at the end, so make a note of a question you want to ask, and we will be expecting the floor to come forward with some really great questions for us later. Wolseley have been working with Adestra for over a year now. Let me just start the presentation, that would help, wouldn't it? There we go. And in that time, they've already accomplished a phenomenal amount. Their business and marketing strategy aligns brilliantly with the 4 pillars of first-person marketing. So today they are proud to showcase how an integration with Adestra is propelling them towards their goals. Our agenda for the day, has that moved on? It hasn't moved on. Clicker. Why is this not moving? Oh, here we go. It's taking its time. Our agenda for the day will walk you through the journey that Wolseley took, sharing some challenges and some wins that they've had along the way. But this is just the beginning. Wolseley have an ambitious plan for the future of their email too. Now, we're lucky to have a fantastic speaker with us today. If you're not sure how to plumb into your customers' needs, offer them a slick user journey so that their stresses drain away, cleverly place parts to create a strong pipeline, and increase e-commerce revenue through email in a competitive climate, then you're in for a treat, as this man certainly knows his trade. You may have wondered why I was adding some odd emphases on those words, but all will become clear. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mark Parrish.
Thank you, Lizzie. Yes, as Lizzie said, I've spent a good many years in B2B. I've been in B2B all my career, and specifically the construction sector. I've been with Wolseley since 2003, so quite a long time. Initially joining the commercial teams, product management, moved on to marketing, and I had the opportunity to join the newly formed e-commerce team in 2010, initially in a project phase as we re-platformed to an IBM platform for our Plum Centre brand. I took the role of merchandising manager, and slowly we've developed our e-commerce proposition. We now trade on the platform 3 brands. I widened my remit 18 months ago to take on SEM and digital communications. I have to say that, and I really shouldn't be here today, our digital communications manager, Steph Beard, helped put some of this together. Unfortunately, she can't be here today. She's just left last Friday to go on maternity leave, so you'll have to make do with me, I'm afraid. So, just a few points about Wolseley. Who's heard of Wolseley? So a few, probably more than I would expect actually, because it's not a trading brand. If anyone's wondering whether classic cars, right? Then actually there is some truth in that. Wolseley started out as an engineering company in the late 19th century and did actually manufacture cars. We sold the car manufacturing business in 1901, I think it was, and slowly evolved from manufacturing into distribution, and ended up being specifically a plumbing and heating distributor. We now operate globally with the world's, as it says here, with the world's leading distributor of plumbing and heating products. Our biggest operating company is a brand called Ferguson in the States, and to recognise that's where most of our global revenues come from, we've actually just changed the PLC name to Ferguson. But we're still Wolseley UK, and in fact we are going through a business transformation right now. We are going to rebrand some of our core brands to Wolseley, so it will become more of a customer-facing brand. We are, as it says here, we're renowned in the UK for specialist knowledge and expertise. We Largely deal on account. We have approximately 100,000 trade accounts, tend to be more in the specialist trades, not really white van man, and about 98% of our revenues would be on accounts and typically with credit. So, you know, we do know our customers, but it's a very people-based business, 6,000 employees, we've got 700 branches across the UK. And I think from a digital perspective, you know, digitising that specialist knowledge and expertise is a challenge, but there's a lot of value in that. We've come a long way with product data over the last couple of years, but we've got a hell of a long way to go. Around £2 billion worth of revenue, and as it says here, we can now offer our customers a holistic multi-channel experience, so we can engage and trade in a branch through Salesforce. We've got several customer support centres, and you can trade electronically either through some of our websites or through EDI. So here's a few of our brands. Some of you may be familiar with. I think most people probably have heard of Plum Centre or seen a van, and that's around about half of our UK revenue. Some of the other brands, Parts Centre, well, they deal with really specialist boiler parts in the main and other heating parts for heating engineers. Then we trade in the M&E sector with the more heavy industrial products with a Pipe Centre brand. HVAC, air conditioning and refrigeration, we have the Climate Centre brand. Specialist sort of drain products for the building services sector, Drain Centre, and so on. All of those 5 brands, by the way, will shortly be rebranded as Wolseley, and we're currently working on a Wolseley website as we speak. In Scotland, we also have a website for a small group of bathroom and plumbing merchants called William Wilson, and there are a couple of small pure play digital brands that I'm involved with. One is Discount Heating, and another is a vehicle for us to get rid of old stock called Clearance Centre. So, what I'm going to do now is just play a short video. So, we worked on our proposition for the benefits of trading online for our Plum Centre account base last year, and this is a very short video that we put on our website. It's on YouTube, and it's also for our branches. And I need to click here, don't I? Let's hope it works.
Save time, save money, save hassle at plumcentre.co.uk. Too much pressure? Up to your neck in hot water. Paperwork driving you round the bend. Your time is precious, so why not let our online tools do the legwork for you? Whether you're on site, in the office, at home, or in the van, you can check live stock availability on over 200,000 products at any of our 500 branches. View your own personalised trade prices, allowing you to quickly price up your next job, and order your branch quotes. And create handy lists so you can plan your work and reorder the products you use most regularly. Need it quickly? No problem. If you can't pick it up in branch, try our express delivery options for next day delivery to home, office or site, and with a host of other useful tools like the industry leading part identification finder, our handy shower selector, radiator selector and heat loss calculator. You've got everything you need to make your life easier and manage your account online. It only takes 2 minutes to register, and with 20% off your first online order, you can start saving time, money and hassle today. Work even smarter at plumcentre.co.uk.
Okay, so in 2014 we appointed a new multi-channel director, Jeremy Maxwell, who came in and outlined his plan and vision for multi-channel and the digital platforms. So a clear objective was to get to 20% share via digital channels of all the Wolseley UK revenue within 5 years. So 3 years in now, to give you, we're just into I think around about 11% we're hovering at the moment. And steps to get there. So as you probably gathered from the video, and so become the easiest merchant to do business with. This is about helping our customers become more efficient and then be better with their customers and be more profitable. Be customer segment relevant. We have a lot of diverse customer segments, different wants and needs, and we need to digitize that and work on that proposition to them. So it's about having a more compelling offer than our direct competition. We've got an acronym that we use within Multichannel that we use for engagement. That's SSE, self-service events. So create self-service events that customers can do themselves that free up our branches to add more value. So whether that just be a simple inquiry, as I said earlier, it's a very people-based business. 700 branches, something like 40% of all phone calls into branch are, can I have a price on this, mate? Have you got stock of that, mate? They can just simple things that they can do online. So just get people, even if they're not trading online, using the websites to serve themselves. But yes, simple orders or even more complex orders using some of our online tools. Managing their account. So there's some similarities here with banking. So as I said earlier, a lot of our customers will have they'll have credit limits, so they can go online, check their credit limit, pay off their bill. They can check proof of deliveries. Do other sorts of stuff, get their statements and so on. In doing so, we need to be seamless. So this is about giving our customers the tools and data to do what they need to do to achieve more. It's about being more joined up at every turn. Introduction of data, whether that be product data or customer data. We are, as a business now, starting to take data very seriously. For a long time, we didn't. And with our future state infrastructure planning, whether that's sort of any sort of complex IT architecture project, a new platform or a software release, ensuring that it's fast, reliable and scalable. And with all of that, then we aim to help Wolseley UK grow their sales and profit. From an e-commerce perspective, we see that as a way of recruiting new customers. I said earlier we have around about 100,000 accounts. I think in the last year, 6 million users on our website. So the majority of our traffic are not necessarily our trade customers, but with all the content that we're creating, it's indexed for search engines. It's a way of us onboarding new tradespeople and even taking some DIY sales. Our websites are open to anyone to trade. But it's also about increasing share of wallet, specifically with our trade account customers, adding value that they don't get at the competition, creating stickiness so they don't go elsewhere to trade with other merchants. Driving greater efficiencies and lowering Wolseley UK operating costs. And specifically with the websites, it's a shop window 24/7. Our branches are typically open 7:30 to around 5 weekdays until lunchtime on a Saturday. But customers can place orders and check stock and do other things 24/7 all the way around the week. Has that not moved on? Oh yeah. Okay. So, just on to some of our challenges. This slide, I hope this slide resonates with some of you in the room. I've been with Wolseley a long time, so this is kind of all I've ever known. But we have a very complex data landscape. So to give you an idea, our sort of sales and mainly branch sales would come from business objects. Customer segmentation may well be in some sort of CSV file. Interactions with our sales team and our contact centres will be in Salesforce. Our branches actually use another database, and then web behavioural stats are in Google Analytics. So pulling all that together for a triggered email campaign is challenging, to say the least. And we don't yet have a single view of a customer as business. It's something that we're working on and should land that in the next 18 months. From a segmentation perspective, Wolseley deal with various sectors. You saw that from some of the brands earlier on, but from a size, but from sole traders right up to very large utility customers. So, very different wants and needs. Customers who it's their time, their money, they're on the move, or maybe we could be dealing with somebody who is an employee of a business, perhaps office-based. So we need to treat them differently. We've had a small customer contact strategy for the last couple of years for Plum Centre, and Plum Centre had a segmentation model. The small customers were 2, 4, 6, 8. I've just put a couple of personas up here to give you an idea of the different wants and needs. So the heating specialist would very much be our sort of bread and butter customer. These are prompts for a branch, by the way. A professional employee, probably branded workwear, probably accredited to a particular boiler installer. They'll have a professional qualification, gas safe, registered. Their wants and needs are around reliability and service. And from a email marketing perspective, probably not a huge amount of promotional opportunity there. They're fault finding on a boiler. They need that specific part to complete the job. But they will have some van stock opportunities and some consumables that we want to sort of promote to those guys. On the other side, we have probably 4 times as many accounts in this sector, but they're far less loyal. Not necessarily plumbing and heating specialists, so probably could be a landlord working property maintenance, a builder, a joiner. There's a bit of a catch-all, this particular segment, so don't necessarily know what they're doing, but they'll perhaps lend their hand to a small plumbing job. And when they're in the market for maybe an electric shower for a student flat, or maybe a waste trap for a kitchen, then they want that particular product. But otherwise, in terms of email marketing, we're just guessing at their wants and needs. So, what did we do? We started working with Adestra and moved our email service provider, I think it was around about 2 years ago, Lizzie. And the first thing that we did was started to look at our digital design. By the way, just to confuse matters even further, our brand marketing teams also send out emails. So we needed to make sure that we were on point with brand, that they've got a consistent templates, consistent look and feel, and that the emails actually worked on mobile devices, which they didn't always prior to that. So we worked on templates, and then we started to take things a step further when we started working with Fresh Relevance, and that was the integration, and started to get onto personalised content, which I'll come on to. So, this slide, we have one of our previous email templates, so pretty horrific, all sorts of colours and call to actions going on there. You can probably tell that's in terms of content, scattergun approach, really just hoping that one of those offers resonates with the customer and it lands. From a production perspective, having to resize images in Photoshop so they fit exactly into the template. We then moved on to, you can see on the right there, a template that is consistent across our various digital brands. The particular example we've got here is a clear call to action depending on what customer life cycle stage they're at. Hero offer, some recommended products, some benefits of trading online, maybe a digital tool, and another product offer. Staying on the template theme, then on the left, we have, from a business user, how those template looks. It's very easy to cut and paste. It's drag and drop functionality. The editor tool at the top, where we can just go and quickly edit content, and very easy to select products for product recommendations. And then, using the same template, a very, very different email. This one is around service. So, early this year, we added a new feature to our website. So in a branch environment, small customers may often go in and ask for a quote. And what used to happen, you quote you on a load of products, and unfortunately, that was not yet integrated to our website, so it's a huge blocker for us for small customers, because you could only go into branch to actually get those prices. So we've now integrated that online, and we needed to tell our customers about it. So we knew the sorts of customers that were using that functionality, so we can get to them precisely. The email on the left was done using this particular template. You can see that it's sort of very consistent with the landing page that it was directed to. It was very relevant. It was one of the most successful email campaigns we've ever done, and we even had a £20,000 order off it with one customer just converting a quote there and then. Okay, so following on from the results of that work and moving to Adestra, then our click-through rates went up from 2.1 to 2.5%. Open rates increased from 23% to 28%, and a little bit less tangible, but there was a big reduction in the time that it took the business user team to create. I'm looking at Claire in the audience here to create the templates for the campaigns, which meant we could focus more on the content, getting it right, and of course the audience. Let's move on.
So those results are great. The time and thought that Wolseley put into creating those new templates and putting that consistency in place has really paid off. But this is only part of the story. Wolseley chose a partner of Adestra, Fresh Relevance, to take their campaigns to the next level. Now, Fresh Relevance can't be here today, so I'll just tell you a little bit about them before I hand back to Mark. Fresh Relevance offer a fresh take on personalisation for the digital marketer, acting as a hub for online retailers. Customers today expect Amazon-like personalisation. I know I do. I love it when a customer gets me. And a customer experience can increase sales through Fresh Relevance of over 10%. The result? Shoppers enjoy personalised, deeply engaging interactions with brands on email, mobile and web. Oh, thank you. Thought you still had it. Work that time. Fresh Relevance collect real-time data and content from your website and unify this with data from your other systems. They give their customers control to deliver a personalised customer experience across email, mobile and the web. Their real-time marketing tools deliver marketing tactics such as web personalisation, live image personalisation of email campaigns and triggered messages. Fresh Relevance allows the application of consistent rules across channels to design the perfect customer experience. Fresh Relevance don't stop there though. Machine learning alongside continual testing and targeting optimization mean that the customer experience is honed and results are improved over time. Wolseley saw the opportunity in Adestra and the Fresh Relevance partnership and understood that they could engage with their customers in a much more targeted and relative way, using the power of intelligent, data-driven email content. Mark, perhaps you could tell us a bit more about that. Have the clicker.
Okay, so we felt one thing we felt we were missing out on. I should have perhaps said, I mean, we're quite early. I said earlier, we've got around about 10% of our Wolseley UK revenue going through a digital channel. Of the sort of around about 80,000 trading accounts that we've got, something like 30,000 of those are logged in and using the websites, and only 5,000 are regularly buying. So we've got a huge audience doing stuff online, but not necessarily buying. And yet we're sort of sending out emails and very much guessing what they want. So why not use some of that website behaviour to actually drive that more relative content? So we did that with the segment builder, which I'll come on to. Even in terms of our just basic small customer contact strategy emails, it said earlier we have 200,000 products on our system. We stock 60,000. Even our monthly offers, there are 500 products. So trying to get a specific product relevant to the customer, there's gold in that. And so we use the smart blocks there to get some relevant offers to customers. Abandoned baskets, it may surprise some of you, but we didn't have that out-the-box functionality with our WebSphere platform, so we were able to introduce that through the Fresh Relevance integration. And then really as a byproduct of that, there were some website personalization features that we got through the software as well. At this point, we don't yet have a Monetate or something like that, if you will, multivariant testing or any personalization tool. So there is some stuff that we can do through Fresh Relevance to personalize content, or even just introduce new functionality such as countdown timers or pop-ups to smooth over UX journeys. So segment builder. So this particular example shows there's an email on the left there. It was a bathroom campaign, multi-channel bathroom campaign earlier this year. The particular email has 2 bathroom offers. And if you think back to that sort of segment 8 customer in particular, where was really sort of guessing what they want. And what we were able to do here in Fresh Relevance with the Segment Builder is from all of the known users on the website, specifically target those customers that had already interacted with the bathrooms and showers category and create an audience. And then at the push of the button, send that email out to that audience. The results of which, are they on the slide? This is the one I always trip over. I'm building the tension, but click-through rate doubled. Yes, 39% open rate. We got a 4.3% click-through rate. It was a relatively small campaign, small audience this, but around 50 transactions and about £6,000 worth of sales. So relatively, this was quite a successful campaign for us. Okay, so then on to the recommendations. So this is thinking back to the template I showed you earlier, where we've got some recommendations in this particular block here that previously maybe somebody from the merchandising or commercial team would have said stick a shower there, stick a boiler there, and stick a pump there. Now we're able to personalise that to the specific customer. So that heating engineer customer, might have a central heating pump, a control they've looked at, maybe even a specific part, whereas the segment 8 customer may have a shower or a bottle trap or something like that, but something that's relevant to them, and we've got much more chance of resonating with them. And the results were fairly clear cut. So open rates shot up from 28% to 45%, and click-through rates doubled from 2.5% to 5%. Abandoned basket email, fairly straightforward, but we did have some challenges here, but we were able to come with the Adestra and the Fresh Relevance tooling. So we do have some concerns with our brand marketing colleagues that we are over communicating between us to customers, and this is starting to put them off and upset them, and risk unsubscribing. So we limited these in the software to one abandoned basket email per month. We also felt it wasn't appropriate to send this to our larger customers, typically office-based, and we also know that our large customers often use the basket functionality as a way of checking stock on a multiple list of products anyway. So it didn't feel appropriate to target those customers, so we were easily able to exclude them. We do have some other challenges. We've got around about 20,000 BIYers on our database who their basket's going to be including VAT, so we needed to reflect that. And so on. We managed to cater for all those requirements, and partly because of the large customers, we have a lot of abandoned baskets, so £3.5 million worth of abandoned value since we turned this on in April, but we've managed to recover £66,000 worth of sales. And it's obviously very relevant content, so very high open rate. And 4.4% click-through rate. Then moving on to the website. So yes, just a few sort of funky things that we were able to introduce that previously we weren't able to. So, and this helped with stakeholder management as well. I mean, sometimes you might, a commercial manager had said to me once, can't you just put a countdown timer on that? And I go, no, we can't do that. You'd probably be looking with the way that we work with our software releases, sort of business case, start to end would probably be a minimum of 6 months to do something like that. So the business users were able to sort of throw this up very, very quickly using the Fresh Relevance tool. We had a shower promotion that was really aimed at that's segment 8 and some of our BRY customers at the time. Added a sense of urgency, and the results were pretty stark actually. We had in that last week over 1,500 impressions and an extra 41 units sold, additional £12,000 worth of sales. And then pop-ups as well. So again, something that the business users couldn't do within the WebSphere platform at the time. We had a horrendous user journey with some of our boiler pack promotions where customers were not able to select the type of flue or clock they needed to go with the boiler. And this resulted in contact centres ringing customers back to actually ask them what they wanted, which is a pretty poor digital experience. What we were able to do here was actually encourage users just simply to use the comments box, and it's cut out the need for the callback, and it created an uplift of about £50,000 worth of sales in a particular month we turned it on. So there is a case study in terms of what we've achieved so far with Fresh Relevance that's available on the Fresh Relevance website.
Fresh Relevance website, yeah.
Yeah, but if you want a link to that afterwards, then just ask Lizzie or myself. And we're still in our infancy with this. So we're now starting to think about, and thinking about the fact that we're going to have a new Wolseley brand that's going to accommodate all sorts of different specialisms on one website, about how we're going to communicate with customers, and starting to think about, interacting with that branch data better to get a fully thought out welcome program based on engagement with website or in branch or Salesforce or so on. More triggered email campaigns based on on-site behaviour. And finally, what we will also do, we have 15 emails that currently are sent off our WebSphere platform at the moment, sort of registration, forgotten password, order confirmation and so on. They're pretty horrible actually, and very difficult for us to maintain or get any sort of commercial benefit from. So we will be moving those over to the Adestra platform, and then we'll have some more capability there. And that's the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much. This is where we open up the floor and hear from you lovely people. Has anyone got any questions for Mark, either about the integration or perhaps some of the challenges they faced? Will anyone start us off? No hands go. Oh, fantastic.
You mentioned doing segmentation in terms of personalisation of emails. Is that purely done at segmentation level in the sense that the free content box that you populate done at that level, or are you able to do it at customer level based on?
That's at customer levels. That's personalisation. So it's able to understand what the user's browsing behaviour is, and it just picks out. I think we can trim it down to parameters. So you can. You might say, I only want to put products in there that are perhaps on our promotion at the moment in time, but then it will start to look at the things that they've looked at and recognise that, okay, let's put a central heating pump in there. You can hard code it as well, so if you want to just have 2 personalised products and then just put out a product that the commercial team want to push at that time, then you can do that as well.
And that data's coming from which relevance?
From Fresh Relevance, so picking that up from the website behaviour, yeah. So we can only do that for known users who've logged in or, yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. How did you sort of industrialise at speed, the level of adoption? Because you do work for a very traditional industry, and you've mentioned several times people like going in, they're like ringing up May, hello, what's this? So was it a lot of behind the scenes research in terms of careful segmentation, i.e. who were going to be the early adopters, who could then refer?
Yeah, I think we, when our new multi-channel director came in, we started to rethink about how we did things. So it's particularly, this tends to be more on the larger customer side. We started to do a lot of, so you think back to the data landscape, we do a lot of profiling of customers and start to understand which ones are easy pickings. Yeah, so looking at, because we kind of know, so if you take that quotation piece, for example, any of our customers who are pricing like method, clearly they're going to be very difficult to adopt online prior to introducing that functionality. So we'll leave those customers alone and go after somebody easier. So whereas the segment 6 heating engineers are doing very simple transactions where they're perhaps buying 1 line, maybe 2, and actually need a digital tool to help them find the products in the first place. So go after those guys. So we started to get our e-business team to hunt down specific customers, and also we started to get much better at explaining the benefits to them. and getting to the right people as well. Often with the larger customers, previously, you know, you'd be going to somebody where it's like turkeys basically for Christmas. You're talking to somebody who's basically going to be put out of work by adopting this new channel. So you need to sort of get to the right people and have the right conversations. But we have an engagement team now that not just work with the customers but with Salesforce and the branches. And I think that's one of the things we really learned with B2B is, you know, this doesn't sell itself. A lot of people expect, you know, if you've got a website, people just use it and it works, people will use it, right? Well, like B2B, you're changing people's processes, you're changing the way they do things, and you need to explain that.
We've found the same as we work in global conferences, and we've learned the value of making sure that we engage with our customers to sell the online benefits when they're most engaged with us, and that's when we have them at one of our conferences. And it was just the most ridiculous thing that's the same, making sure we've got an engagement team on site at conferences.
Thank you. We do have time for some more questions if anyone has. No? Well, I'm going to ask one anyway. You knew this was coming, Mark. I was wondering, when you started out on this project, did you have in your mind what kind of targets, what would success look like? What would good look like?
I think for us, when we first looked at Fresh Relevance, we had a clear problem actually, in terms of we had a data set which we were getting from the IBM platform around sort of registrations and logins. It was really difficult to sort of knit that together with other data, and it just wasn't particularly robust. So we thought we could cut out a whole load of time executing that, and use the website tagging. So this customer's just logged in and just registered to actually trigger that email. In truth, we've not really leveraged that aspect of it particularly well yet. I think the abandoned baskets was a big piece. We knew that we could get value out of that, and I think you could say, I mean, that more than paid for the cost of the software in the first year. So kind of a lot of the other stuff was sort of icing on the cake, and I think I mean, perhaps won't thank me for saying this, but it's a relatively inexpensive piece of software compared to some of the other sort of personalisation software that's available on the market. So it kind of allowed us to sort of do some stuff relatively cheaply and start to understand where we're going to get value from that before we perhaps might want to, pay something for perhaps a little bit better, give us more functionality.
So starting out more of it as a proof of concept, and then
and also your internal disciplines as well, so the governance and so on, so different people in that software doing different things. I think you have to be careful with personalisation software that it just doesn't get out of control. So just making sure that we know what's in there and what's happening at any one time, and you haven't got conflicting experiences.
Has that allowed anyone thinking time to come up with a corker of a question? Well, I'm going to take the opportunity. I'm going to ask you if you could do one thing differently, having been through the process you've been through, what would you change?
That's a good question, and you did ask me that yesterday, so I should know the answer for it. But I think perhaps going back to what I just said, I think I probably would have got a little bit close to it in the early days around. This is probably more on the people side. There's a piece of functionality within Fresh Relevance called Firehose, which makes it very easy to put data in and also get it out. So that allows you to sort of join up with your other channels potentially, which we haven't fully exploited yet. And that was down to some people changes that we had within our analyst team. And I didn't get a grip of that particularly quickly. So we've had a little bit of a setback there. So I need to pick that up with the new chief analyst and start to drive that. But
so another opportunity there.
How far down the road of integrating the Adestra platform with all the back office systems that you have? Stock fulfillment, stock levels. Is that all done through
That's come through WebSphere. So we've got various integrations. Yeah, so we're fully integrated to our both branch stock and of our distribution centre stocks. It's very complex actually.
So in
And
terms of
pricing.
importing data into the actual platform itself, you've not had to write any custom using
No. I mean, this was a relatively painless integration, as I understand it. So it's just a bit of JavaScript that needed to be deployed on the WebSphere platform, which I've been involved with some of these relatively, I'm told, simple integrations in the past, and it has been a nightmare working with our particular system integrator to sort of get that in. But I don't remember this being a problem, so I think it was fairly straightforward.
From our side too.
Yeah.
That was an existing plugin from Adestra to WebSphere.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know if it's
that
with-
would come from the Fresh Relevance. The Fresh Relevance JavaScript that sits on WebSphere.
So it's all coming through.
That would actually then feed back into the Fresh Relevance platform, and then in turn that information is then fed into Adestra. So it's creating that middle layer on that basis.
Thank you. Well, we are at time, so.
I think we've got one here.
Oh, is there another quick time? If you'd like one more question.
Are most of your emails like triggered based on the behaviour, or is it planned campaigns that are personalised based on the behaviour?
More the latter. I think we want to do more triggered emails based on behaviour. So they tend to be planned, but then we try and bring in some behavioural stuff into them. But I think that's the thinking for next year, is that we sort of start to engineer a welcome programme, and then almost just let the thing run.
I know you're all hungry and eager to mingle, so really appreciate you coming along today. Thank you for listening, and thank you again, Mark.
That's good.